Opo.
Lah iya
Ada cilik lho, Pak. Sing jaga band lho Mas Bi. Keren tuh. Mana sih mana sih?
Iki. Punya kenapa?
Azoi. Azoi. Ini ya. Itu dijawab iki lho. Hah? Itu dijawab iki lho.
Jawab apa nih?
Ning iki lho. Ning apa? HP mini ta iki lho.
Iya,
Dijawab.
Di Unpers ada ini yang sasaran file NH itu. Nah, kamu buka sekarang.
Gimana Kas? Menurut lu dari Boom ID sama Viral di game pertama?
Gue udah prediksi sih dari segi draft aja sih. Mau dia main cepet, main lama pun Boom ID tetap menang kalau dari draft.
Iya.
Bang. Saya nggak ikut sih mainnya udah simpel. Enggak lah. Rolnya ono. Siapa yang mau? Karena Caken kan. Trollnya kayaknya di ruangan ini. Lukas seperti lah aku nek sama polisi itu maju ini ngorok sih. Enggak. Kok lah. Enggak. Tiara nih guys. Itu kabelin saya sombong tadi ya. Karo. Kada jomo kan.
Mana noman? Bulan 4 dan 18 UPM.
Anu ya, ini dia provokator
tagnya itu dia boleh di kalau di sini ada foto kalau ini seperti
tanpa penonton
juga mau pakai senang kok kelakuan
karo fotonya di tapnya tidak ini tidak provokator.
Noman Davis. Iya, wis.
Apakah ini mentalitas Arema sebenarnya? Ya. Aremania.
Dan bareng gue Erwan di sini kita bakal masuk untuk GESC untuk SEA Qualifier. Di sini ada Fnatic dan Clutch Gamer. Sebenarnya mereka kayak udah pernah ketemu gitu. Fnatic pernah menang sebenarnya, tapi gimana ya? Mereka ketemu lagi di sini dan yang menang di sini bakal
Oh, aku nggak video kan bisa ya video.
Bisa.
Nah, gue kan sini.
Oh iya, oke. Wis mari, Mbak. Lemes ngono kan aku.
Upload ini pira topik ini iki?
Ndi?
Ya kene iki, komputer kene iki. Pira mega?
Tergantung koneksinya, dek malah koneksi yang ndi.
Nek ngupload ngono pengaruhi download koneksine liyane atau?
Ora.
Ora ya nek upload.
Ora, nek upload.
5 seconds remaining. Fnatic's turn to ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Fnatic's turn to ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Team pick. Seconds remaining. Fnatic's turn to pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team back.
Vlada.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Fnatic's turn to ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team back. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Fnatic's turn to ban. Radiant team pick. Fnatic's turn to pick.
Winter Wyvern.
Seconds remain. Radiant team pick.
Shadow Fiend.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Fnatic's turn to pick.
Clockwork.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team back.
Morphling.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Fnatic's turn to bat. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Fnatic's turn to pick. Radiant team pick.
Dark Seer.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Anti-mage.
Choose your hero. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Prepare for battle.
Bless your soul.
Thirty seconds to battle.
Bless your soul.
The battle begins.
How savage is this? Denied.
Oops.
Denied. Fortune.
Fnatic slowly but surely getting the advantage in these lanes. And mid lane, despite the slow start, Abed now doing just fine. Has 12 souls. So, well, they've actually managed to find an opportunity onto DJ here. He doesn't have the Shadow Realm, so he's still getting auto attack down. Aframish traps him in the cog. Envy runs forward, wants to soak the battery assault, and he will do so. And Skylark's now actually pretty low. He does have the Burrow Strike to get a little bit further away. Looks like he'll be alright. Aframish really wants this creep. He knows that the waveform is on cooldown, but only for a little bit longer. Does get the pushback onto Envy, who's still hanging around as I missed the first blood at mid. Whoops. Baited with the solo kill. Alright. Envy, does he do anything else? Nope, Skylark's already healed back up. What happened to you there, Abed? Did you miss a raise? Did you get double crypt swarmed? Not good. It's gonna knock him down on the souls a little bit. Ajit still getting pinned under his tower though, CSing just fine. And even with that death, Abed's still a little bit ahead on CS here at the mid lane. And what's Aframish going to be able to do? So far, he's applied a little bit of pressure as the clockwork. We've got sort of two lesser seen position 4 heroes in this game, so it'll be interesting to see how both of their games play out. Paladai also only level 2 for the time being, and Aframish is going to return out to top lane. He's being scouted by this Dire Observer Ward all the while. I'm just going to come over here and try and interrupt this pull, but overall lead is slightly towards Fnatic at the moment. Abed's found himself a double damage, so zoning back faded a little bit. And yeah, even though he died the once, still doing very well in this lane. A little bit behind in terms of the experience, but that is to be expected. And Aframish has drawn the line. He wants this rotation over towards mid lane. He is going to be scouted by this Dire Observer Ward. Abed TPing in and planting that one down. So he knows what's going on, but doesn't want to give away his ward completely. Aframish also going to come in and plant an Observer Ward of his own, and they're still kind of thinking about the dive to get the Spirit Siphon out. But alright, should now realize that it is warded. Abed knows what's going on, and this ward is also not going to be long for life. Down bottom, some pressure onto Ajit. Will be forced to blink away. Paladai keeps on chasing. Yol now coming back down. He has to spend every single second that he has down here in the bottom lane. Got to try and protect this anti-mage as best they can. Paladai is getting very aggro. Can't always get the pop the Guardian sprint and get out of there, so not a huge deal. And for now, it just kind of seems like Fnatic are content to farm. That is kind of the nature of their mid lane and their safe lane. I don't know if we're going to be seeing too many rotations out of Envy or Abed this game, and I think that they're the caliber of team where they could probably just out-efficiency clutch to a certain extent. Aframish trying for a backstab play here. A little more pressure over at the bouncer ends. Ajit not going to be able to grab that one. Looks like Pi will also be able to grab their bounty. Abed just playing nice and safe over here on the right-hand side of the lane. Not really exposing himself to anything. He does now go running forward. Do they have any TPs to back him up? Looks like he maybe didn't see Aframish sneaking in there. And Abed will actually end up going down. Highlight making some kind of a rotation over towards mid, trying to bait a little bit with this illusion rune, but... And the jig is very quickly up on that. Higher running forward, needs to be careful, his exorcism's going to do some damage. I don't know what he was planning there. Doesn't have his tranquil boots or anything just yet, and I don't think he's going to pop this shrine solo. Maybe he'll wait for Universe. Looks like he will be okay to walk away from this one, or perhaps not. Ajit's still chasing. No level 6 just yet on the AM. Universe gonna juke over into the tree. Highlight Eye does have a crush. Ajit could actually be in some trouble. He's got wand charges, and they've got the cold embrace. Universe also trapped in. Auto attacks from Yol. Finish that kill, and that Highlight Eye. Not enough mana for another crush. He will not be brought down. Ajit is going to be forced to blink himself away. Yol has one more Splinter Blast potentially here. Chase after him a little bit. High realizing what's going on. Doesn't want to give the AM the opportunity to blink on top of him. And Abed does get that D-ward on mid, but Aframush is back in position. Eager for yet another kill. And he's going to go for it now. Looks like maybe. No. Alright. Lane's too far pushed forward. High and DJ are just going to do little support shrine and head over into the jungle. Abed is backing up to block the wave, try and get it in a better position to force the Death Prophet down onto the low ground where they could potentially get a kill. Envy's being gone on. Meanwhile, up top, he's got a couple of wand charges. He's getting pushed around the place. Very low range waveform, but now he immediately morphs into the Sand King, pops back out, a few more auto attacks, finishes that kill. Nicely played by Envy. Who they managed to find over in the jungle. Looks like smoke got broken by Yol, and no attempt on the Death Prophet's life.
A soldier's fortune.
Alright, pretty interesting skill build from Envy, actually. 4 points in Morph already, only the 2 points up in the waveform. I guess just good survivability. Every death is going to slow down his farm this game, so may as well just make sure that he's got the maximum survival potential. Yo, getting dove on here a little bit. Doesn't always have the cold embrace. And the Arctic Burn going to get him up over the trees. A little bit more damage onto Pi. Universe going to keep on fighting with this 3 points up in Ion Shell. They are pressuring pretty heavily under the tower. Aframush in some trouble. Was trying for that rotation onto Abed again, but Envy running across. I don't know if he probably didn't still have the Sand King morph, but still. They find yet another kill. Was that given to Abed? No, it was the last hit for Envy. EJ taking some damage, still fairly healthy. A bunch of pressure from Fnatic, trying to force some more heroes down here, and it looks like Faded is going to oblige. He's got the Exorcism off cooldown. Could be a decent rotation for him to make at this point. Skylark, how's he been doing? He's picked up a bottle. Haven't really looked at his game in a little while. Highlight Eye getting gone on. Gonna try for the TP out, but there's a Mana Void to cancel it, and now Pi has to go on the run. Ajit might be able to close the gap on him in just a couple of seconds. 3, 2, 1. DJ will maybe try. I don't know. Ajit just wants the creeps instead. I guess he could have blinked in, gotten one more auto attack off, but Pi maybe pops the wand, crushes him, and just keeps on running. Oops. Silence on Envy. Is that going to last long enough to prevent the morph? He starts morphing now. Waveform away, and he is going to be A-okay. And we'll be TPing all the way back home, in fact. Alright, that's going to pave the way for Exorcism to get popped up top, and Fnatic seeing, no, Abed seeing that, is going to try and push over at mid a little bit. They're going on to Yol. He manages to cold embrace himself, but that just sets up for another crush. He'll be brought down. Ajit should be fine, but it does take a Cursed Crown for his trouble. And Abed, not feeling like he can continue pressuring mid, is going to make the rotation down here to bottom. Looks like they want a tier 1 tower of their own. Pi still keeping the pressure on, pump faking that crush. Ajit, I mean, he's got the Ring of Health so far towards the Battle Fury, but still going to take him a little while longer. Skylark's down here now, and they actually spot Pi over in the trees. He gets a nice 3-man crush. Can he escape? Burst Strike just catching up to him. Aframush doesn't have the hookshot just yet, and Pi thinks about the turnaround. Abed's here. Universe already has his Helm of the Dominator, so they do have that Troll Trap. Well, they had the Troll Trap. Now they've got the Catapult if they're ready to keep the push going. And Pi, he's only a level 4 Slardar, but he is chasing everybody away as they come in for this push. And Envy, all the while, is just farming. Okay, tier 1 for tier 1 tower trade. No kills. We're only a 6-kill game so far. Nothing too crazy. Faded just working on a Yule Scepter. Definitely want to have that against the Dark Willow and the Slardar. Very sensible. Another Exorcism in 60 seconds time, but Clutch still going to be playing 4v5 for a little while, since Anti-Mage still not really doing anything. Though the same can be said for Fnatic. Envy just going for the Lincoln Sphere build up here. Fairly greedy, but hasn't really been punished too heavily just yet. Meanwhile, the Anti-Mage kind of middling on farm. The Slardar choosing to dual lane with the Darkseer actually working out really nicely. And Fnatic trying to link up all 5 heroes on mid. Envy has actually morphed into the Death Prophet. He's going to go scouting underneath the tower a little bit. Can always morph back and be fine. Abed a little bit out of position potentially, though. Teammates are not too far behind. They do have the level 6 on the Dark Willow as well. Y'all not quite there. Won't have the Winter's Curse. Aframush does have his level 6, though. Hookshot initiation is available. 1400 gold for Skylark towards his blink. So he just continues to farm up here at top. Lots of Radiant Vision over on the dire side of the map. I don't know if this is vision that they can really utilize at this point. Bottom lane's going to be under a ton of pressure from the Darkseer. It's always so nice when you get this tier 1 tower relatively early, because now he can take all this farm over in the Radiant jungle, though that's exactly the same story that Clutch are going for on the other side. So still a pretty mediocre net worth lead. Just 1k in Fnatic's favor. As Clutch need to keep on making some more plays with this Clockwork. He is going to fall off way harder than the Slardar as we scale into the later stages of the game, so they got to make use of him now. Envy, only 800 HP. If he gets silenced up, this could be trouble, but he does manage to get the morph off in time. I don't think they're going to get him here. He does get the waveform down onto the low ground. They popped Exorcism for this. Envy might actually get chased down, though. Faded's pretty fast. A couple more nukes, a few more auto attacks. Pi trying to come in for the save. Unfortunately, Envy just not fast enough to get away from that Death Prophet. I don't know if he could have tried to wave down to the low ground, potentially, or something like that. I guess Aframush. Oh, I did already use the hookshot. But, alright, they did get Envy in the end. So as soon as I said that he hadn't been pressured at all, really, by Clutch, that's when they make that successful rotation. It did cost them an Exorcism, though. So fairly big investment, and that is kind of the only thing carrying their team fight for now. So Fnatic, understandably eager to come in here. Well, they also used the epicenter, so a lot of teamfight ultimates used, and Fnatic now sensing some kind of an opportunity to make some plays. Abed's gonna force staff, pressuring Ajit a little bit. They will come running their way over, but Aframush with no hook. They will come in. Skylark's actually got the blink burrow. Abed able to force himself down into the low ground. They've got the terrorize through onto a couple. Envy waveforming in aggressively. Doesn't have the morph just yet. Aframush, Cursed Crown up on the high ground, will manage to evade, or luckily evade, that Shadow Realm hit. And looks like Fnatic are just going to back off and reset. Okay. I think that was less than they were hoping to get there, especially with Envy rotating over as well. That's farming time that he could have been spending, that he instead spent using trying to come and take a fight. Universe thought he was going to have a pretty rough lane against the Anti-Mage, but as I've been saying this whole time, the Slardar being there to help him out, definitely paying dividends. He's going to have a pipe before too long. And Piladai actually 1400 gold towards a Blink Dagger of his own. Still not fast. We are already 14 minutes into this game, but certainly not bad. And Fnatic now giving him control over this top lane to finish up this Blink Dagger. Anti-Mage still needs to complete the Demon Edge or his Battle Fury, so not a great Battle Fury timing for him so far. And Abed is actually just going to be rushing a Pike. I mean, he wanted the Force Staff anyway against the Clockwork and Dragonlance. Well, so 1, he wanted the Force Staff. 2, the Dragonlance isn't terrible for Shadow Fiend in general. And then 3, it's got the synergy with the Slardar. You put the Corrosive Haze on somebody, you get the pushback with the Hurricane Pike, and you do a ton of right-click damage. So I like the build. Does still go for the 10 spell amplification talent. In general, people just think by far the superior talent at level 10 for Shadow Fiend. And Clutch still playing together a whole lot at the moment. We are going to have another smoke movement out. They really need to get rid of this mid-tier 1 tower if they can, but Fnatic have been able to hold on to it for a little bit longer. Aframush, y'all. They know that there's some heroes up here on the high ground, but they don't know exactly where they are. They saw them go up the hill with this ward, but Fnatic have actually retreated a little bit further back into their jungle. And with an Exorcism pop, it looks like they will be able to grab this. Faded's going for a Solar Crest as they spot DJ. They get him with the Burrow Strike, looking like he should be going down here. Also going to commit the hook shot. Why not? He threatens the Terrorize, but he's not getting out of that. Envy is taking the bottom tier 2 in the meantime, though. And no, well, I guess there was that little bit of map pressure mid. If they'd managed to get that tier 2, would have been pretty sweet. And I guess Fnatic will eventually get it. It's only got 116 HP left. Pi trying for the TP out, but Skylark finds him. I don't think Pi's dead here, but it is a little bit annoying for him to get that TP cancelled. Aftermush comes over, wants to try and help out a little bit. Skylark's just going to commit the epicenter for this Pi, running away from it. He doesn't have the sprint anymore. The Centaur Conqueror wanting to get involved, but alright, that Arcane Rune on the Sand King doing so much work, giving him that second burst strike just that little bit faster. And that will be the end of Pylai. It does set back his Blink Dagger a little bit. What did he lose? 150 gold? He was getting really close.
Radiant's bottom tower.
And they need that Blink to be able to pressure the Anti-Mage a little bit. Envy gets that bottom tier 2. Still has pretty much complete free reign, though the Death Prophet is a little bit ahead of him in terms of the net worth right now. Going to be, it's a little bit of a different game here when you've got these two. We got the Anti-Mage and the Morphling against each other. Kind of a bit of a blast from the past as far as the carry matchups go. We've been seeing way more Jug and Lifestealer and Terrorblade and some of these little slightly more active carries, but you look at the AM and the Morph, and even after they get this first big item, they are not. That's not fighting territory for them. This is full-on farm mode.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Pi just trying to scrounge together this Blink. Ooh, did they get the deny on mid? Not quite. Y'all was trying for it. He popped the Arctic Burn.
Top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Faded has an Exorcism back up in 10 seconds time. But it is just Anti-Mage farm stations. In terms of vision, not a ton for the Radiant out on the map. Though kind of a similar situation for Fnatic. This ward's not going to last too much longer, as they do go for a smoke. I don't believe this was scouted. Heading forward in numbers. Are they going to try for the Roshan? The Rocket Flare fades. Where is Pi? Pi is actually unsmoked over at mid. She's showing. Are they trying to make this less obvious that they're going for Rosh? Did they just intentionally show Pylai die? Because they're like, well, if the Slardar's not there, they don't have amplified damage, so how can they Rosh? Well, it turns out that they can Roshan just fine because Envy had a double damage rune. Fnatic, kings of the Roshan pit. And now they've got themselves an Aegis over on their Shadow Fiend. Clutch, what can they do? Can they fire back and make a play of their own? Probably not. They just got to watch Anti-Mage farm for a little bit more. Faded probably going to move out with his utility heroes and try and find something on the map. But also does need to farm up this BKB. I guess the timing for Clutch is kind of Anti-Mage getting, what, Manta, BKB, Abyssal? Just standard stuff. I've seen some deviations from that, but it seems like Adra's just kind of on the standard timeline here. Abed running out. They've also got Pi coming in from the rear. Blinks forward, gets the amp out. Can they get the crush? No, they're just gonna have to settle for Y'all instead. Over in the trees, right clicking him down. Anti-Mage escapes, but still got eyes on him. And Fnatic still also keen to try and defend down here at bottom. After Mush gonna pop the battery assault, he locks in DJ, who is in some trouble, but will just be able to get into the Shadow Realm. And now the Curse Crown going to get the stun out onto 2. Eternal Envy. That's laying in with the auto attack damage. Takes the vacuum back into the crush, into the wall, into the terrorize. Huge AoE combo from Fnatic, as Universe will be the one to find the double kill. Clutch getting baited in there a little bit. And no counter initiation from the Wyvern, who did just die over at top. And that seems to be the big difference right now, is that even though... Okay, here's the thing. I said that Morphling gets his first item, he can't really fight. That is kind of a lie. He's got Morph, he can actually make some plays. Meanwhile, the Anti-Mage... There's some potential there for Anti-Mage to be able to do things, but they haven't really found that opportunity. And I think it's a bigger deal for the Anti-Mage to not be farming, because his strength is just flash farming when it really comes down to it. If you're 6-slotted and the Morphling is 6-slotted, then the Morphling's probably in a better position than you. So anytime that he spends ganking, which is also time that he's actually catching up, given that he didn't have the best start, is potentially wasted time against this Fnatic draft. But I don't know. They very confidently last picked Anti-Mage, And I feel like it hasn't been working the way that they anticipated. DJ is scouting forward here, does scout out Yol, tries to make his way up onto the high ground. He will get stunned up there. Abed gonna look to raise him down. Hold embrace. Ooh, Abed can't quite get the positioning. And that's gonna take them a little bit longer to finish off Yol. Abed does need to commit his Hurricane Pike to finish that kill. Doesn't have that directional move on the Shadow Fiend bound. Fnatic still just rolling forward, and now Ajit's in some trouble. He gets stunned up by Eternal Envy. Pi gonna come in. He's also got the follow-up crush. They've got the damage. Envy will be able to blink after him as well now that he's morphed into the Anti-Mage. They're trying to drop the Terrorize in his head so he can't get another blink off. Envy closes the gap on him, and they will take down Ajit for the first time this game. He was 0-0 or 0-0-1 before that point, but pretty big dent to put in his game as he does end up going down. And because of that, Clutch Gamers will be able to repel Fnatic over at mid, but Fnatic have built up a pretty comfortable net worth lead at this point. They're going to try and go on Abed here. He does still have the Aegis. The rest of the team should be able to make their way over Pi with the 3-man crush, but Abed's already jumped himself up onto the high ground. Not a good place for him to drop off the Requiem. Not the best coordination from Fnatic, but still not too bad. They're not going to end up losing anyone. They did commit the wall, but only a 70-second cooldown, so not a huge deal. And Clutch Gamers will just end up disengaging. Great vision from Fnatic up here as they do go for the push. Envy getting closer and closer to his Ethereal Blade. Faded, still just trying to finish this BKB, but even once he gets that, I still don't know how survivable he's going to be in these fights. If he gets hit by the amp, he's just going to get right-clicked down. Abed runs forward. They spot Yol, but they have bigger fish to fry. They see Ajit over the trees. They stun him up. They get the bash. The Winter's Curse is going to help protect him. We've got the Aegis still on Abed. Nice burst back through from Skylark. He's also got the Epicenter running. Big damage coming through, but Pi with another crush, and they will end up losing the Clockwork. Now Abed's still just going to stand his ground and fight. Skylark now loses his life, and somehow everybody on Fnatic is still alive. Anti-Mage didn't feel confident to stick around there and drop off a Mana Void. And Ajit instead just going to jump out and push out some lanes. Oh, man. So even more gold for the Fnatic side. It was such a beautiful epicenter from Sand King, but it was not enough. I guess even if they'd killed the SF, he's still got the Aegis for another few seconds. He's going to end up fading now. And still not among the top 3. Pilot Eye isn't going to find him. Oh, he's TP'd on top of DJ at this point, and now he's just going to get shotgunned down. Y'all doing his best to save him with the Cold Embrace, but that's just going to set up for a couple more nukes. Skylark also going to come in here to try and help out his Anti-Mage, but he's long dead, and Envy's just going to keep on chasing forward. Abed channels up the Requiem. Envy, what's he done here? Has he killed himself? Looks like perhaps not. He's still survivable enough with the Morph going back and forth into the Death Prophet form, back into the Morphling. They lose the DP. She gets shotgunned down. Yol retreating into the base, but Abed's still chasing, dropping out the raises. He doesn't have the backup of his team. This is getting a little bit awkward, and Abed does need to be careful. He pikes forward. Now he gets hit by the curse. We are going to have a buyback from the Clockwork. Abed going to try for the TP out. Can Aframush get the Cog pushback? He will. Abed now completely trapped inside of the base. They've been chasing Skylark all the while over on the other side, and Aframush brings him down.
Stay dead.
Abed, I don't know if he was taking that all that seriously, but with the Shadow Fiend dead, they will be able to repel the push. Envy's going to keep on farming up. He has taken the #1 spot on the net worth now. And Anti-Mage still doesn't even have this Manta style. I don't know. Did they think he was just going to have a free lane against the Darkseer? Aframush, in fairness, they didn't try and rotate Aframush to bottom at all, so I wonder if the laning stage could have gone a little bit better for the Anti-Mage if they had maybe put the Clockwork down there, but then of course the Sand King would have done a little bit worse. Pilot Eye gonna get hooked up here. Cog pushback, burst back, he's just getting chain stunned into Oblivion. Almost gets the crush off, but he's dead. Fnatic are building a bunch more Force Staffs. Universe almost has his. There's a Force Staff already on Pi. DJ just gonna be going for a Yules. But these Clockwork initiations are going to start becoming a little bit less reliable, though he has been using the cogs mostly for pushback. Dire Scan scouts the Anti-Mage. Ajit, ooh, is waiting for these camps to respawn, and Fnatic are still lurking on the high ground. DJ, they knocked him out of the Terrorize. Whoops. A little bit too much punch on that Morphling stun. Could they have gotten it? Probably. They have a lot of disable. The Morph Stun, Terrorize, Cursed Crown, the Root. Quite a lot of magical damage. I mean, he's got Spell Shield, but he's only got 1100 HP. So, the shotgun along with Bedlam is still gonna hurt. Exorcism up in a few seconds. Probably unwilling to pop it for just the tier 1 tower, but I don't know if they're going to be able to stick around here too much longer. Right, they are going to pop the Exorcism. Pi comes forward, tries to get up the Corrosive Haze, will get silenced, but they know that the silence is on cooldown for a little bit now. Y'all getting scouted over on the other side. Can he find any kind of initiation? They've already popped the Lucians on Envy. Y'all trying to hide over the trees. I think he will be brought down. Yeah, DJ sniping him from long range. Doesn't have to bother doing anything, and the Exorcism popped. Death Prophet can't even fight. Faded just TPs over to mid, and the tier 1 tower still stands. What the Clutch even do? They can't take these fights 4v5. They're desperately trying to make space for the Anti-Mage, but it still doesn't feel like he's even going to do anything anytime soon. Abed's almost got a BKB. Envy also going to be going for a BKB. Fnatic just nailing this timing. Afromush looks like he's the one who will be jumped. Can he find the hook angle out of here? No, Paladai gets up the crush. The auto attacks rain in, and Fnatic find that kill easily as they continue to push this net worth lead. It did turn around a little bit for a second there after Abed died, but still comfortable 12k lead. Could wait around for the next Roche or high grounding potentially, but no, Paladai straight up onto the high ground. Yul with the cold embrace just gets set up for raises. And he gets knocked down. Envy still has that E-Blade. Threatening Faded. Anti-Mage knows that he can't even fight. Doesn't even have a TP scroll off cooldown. 14 seconds to go. He's just going to be forced to commit, but Envy is making very quick work of this tier 3 tower. It's down onto the melee barracks. Paladai, the exact same thing he's been doing all game. Just scouting the enemy team, pushing them back, making life difficult. Skylark wants to try and go on Pi, but they won't find an initiation, and their lane of racks is already gone. Anti-Mage is going to TP back now. Got the Manta style. Feeling a tiny bit more confident, but every single move that they make is being scouted out by these Fnatic wards. And I would think that as soon as those BKBs get delivered, they are more than willing to fight. Fnatic just waiting on this high ground. Will Afromush go forward? They get the vacuum into the crush, into the right click damage from Abed. No more ultimates even need to be committed as they burst down 2 very, very quickly. Fnatic are so in control of this game. I feel like after that game yesterday, game 2 against Clutch in MDL, they're making a little bit of a statement here that, like, look guys, we are the much better team. Please have some confidence in us. We'll win this one cleanly. You know, with a few little, I guess a few little Abed throws thrown in there. But very disciplined play. Anti-Mage still just trying to rat, but I don't know. Roshan's up. Aegis and Cheese potentially for Fnatic. They haven't taken out this bottom shrine just yet, so they might go and grab that in a little bit. AM does have 3k gold. Number 1 on his team at this point, but I don't know if there's like a singular item that is going to turn this game around for him. Definitely needs like... It feels like he needs BKB and Butterfly, and he needs Abyssal Blade. And he's just building a Lincoln Sphere. So, that situation. Envy with the shotgun damage onto Yul. I don't know what that Cold Embrace was meant to do for him, other than set up for Universe to get in here. They try and go into Faded. He does manage to get the BKB off. Now straight into the Exorcism. Envy's going to end up killing off Pi, so they block a reliable stun for this fight. Envy just trying to run away, but now he turns around, he pops the BKB, he goes on the Yul, will be able to finish that kill. Abed stands his ground and just right-clicks into the Anti-Mage, who's now abandoned Faded. They look towards Afromush instead. Skylark and Faded both trying to go for DJ. He does go down in the end, but that's a big commitment from 2 cores just to bring down the position 5 of Fnatic. And now Envy able to jump forward. He's got the Anti-Mage morph, he's got a ton of mobility. Skylark does have his blink off cooldown, and he gets down onto the low ground and gets out of there. Pi did buy back into the game. Wanted to see if the fight would go on for a little bit longer. So what? Overall exchange ends up being 3 for 2. Not a terrible fight for Clutch. Keeping all their cores alive, though unfortunately, looks like Fnatic are going to be able to head in here and immediately grab themselves a Roshan. And what do? They got no Exorcism. They got no Epicenter. They need those abilities to fight, and Roshan is already dying so quickly. Maybe we can get an Aframush steal, but he's even too far away for the hook shot, and Universe is even trying to block the hook angle at the moment. I with an Invis in fact. Fnatic not with the best vision on this left side, but they do have a little bit of vision over towards that bottom lane. And they're still going to be able to come in here and get the D ward. DJ ward to spot the high ground probably. Yeah, get that little bit of high ground vision going. Ajit, does he have his Lincoln Sphere completed? He does. Nice for him. Also has the level 20 blink cooldown.
He's mine.
That little bit of extra mobility going to go a long way in terms of split pushing, but until he actually starts threatening tier 3s, I don't think Fnatic are really all that concerned about him. I mean, you look at Abed, he doesn't even have a TP scroll in his inventory at the moment. They're just really not all that worried about the anti-mage split push, and they've got a wave inside of the base. Tier 3 taking damage. Still no exorcism for 15 seconds. And Envy's got the Aegis this time around. Abed with the cheese. Melee Barracks long dead. Pi actually managed to find the anti-mage. It looks like he canceled his TP. They know that there's no AM for this fight. Envy getting bursted a little bit. Skylark gets saved by the Cold Embrace for a second, but it just gets him raised down. He will buy back into the game. Shadowfiend taking some damage, but BKB and Cheese both available. Faded has used his BKB. Keeps on chasing forward. The Requiem gets bombed out. The hookshot somehow misses in the midst of all of this. Faded needs to be careful now. Pilot Eye has arrived at this fight. Skylark gets up a nice two-man burst strike. Universe gets silenced at the last moment before he can get off the wall, but Abed still force-staffed away, still surviving. The Cog's not going to catch either of them. As Envy still chasing Skylark in this fight. Ajit chasing Abed. Can he finish this kill? He's already used the cheese, but the Mono Void is on cooldown. And Abed's juking for dear life. Couple more auto attacks will do it. Aframush also chasing. And looks like Fnatic may have bitten off a little bit more than they can chew here. Abed gonna try and force staff himself up. He's still juking. I don't think he's gonna escape though. Yeah, looks like the Spirit Vessel is gonna finish him off. So in the end, Fnatic will lose 4. The Sand King did buy back for that, but didn't go down a secondary time. So very big win for Clutch, though. Their base is now down to only 1 lane of racks. And I don't know how easy it's going to be for them to win a fight on their side, but on the enemy side of the map. Envy threatening, needs to be careful. There is a Hex. He's kind of tanky, but that Spirit Vessel is doing a ton of work. Envy now loses the Aegis. Respawn's coming in from Fnatic relatively soon. Universe gets up a nice back wall, but it's not really doing enough. Envy getting pushed back by the Cogs, being controlled expertly by Aframush. He's now forced to pop the BKB, but can he actually catch anybody? They will interrupt that TP, and looks like Aframush should be going down. Pilot Eye's hunting for more. They get the crush over onto Faded. That would be a really big kill if they could grab it. Clockwork, they might let Aframush slink away here. Faded with his Hex, keeping control over Pilot Die. Force on force. Nice little move in there from the Sand King to help keep his Death Prophet alive. And Faded will manage to escape. Clockwork not so lucky. Sand King makes the TP out, and Anti-Mage desperately trying to push out this top lane. Though unfortunately, he's going to have to spend some of his time pushing out these other lanes as Fnatic keeps shoving them over towards the base. And Fnatic chasing all of that out, even without their Shadowfiend. Abed only now respawning. He is still just going for nullifiers. BKB down to 8 seconds. Morphling's BKB 7 seconds. No, Anti-Mage's got another 3.5k gold. He's kind of getting there. There is some potential here. But still, this Morphling is equally scary. 4k gold up on MB. He's going to be going for a Bloodthorn. They're just itemizing to destroy the Death Prophet and the Anti-Mage. But Death Prophet does have this Hex, and is going to be going for a Blink shortly after. So that is actually going to be quite scary for the Fnatic side. And we're already starting to see that the Darkseer is starting to fall off a little bit, right? Sure, the Vacuum is somewhat useful, but the Wall of Replica is kind of a joke. I guess if you can get the Anti-Mage illusion, it's not completely terrible, but yeah, he's more about these aura items than anything else at this point. Clutch Gamers smoke up. Ajit is going to be going for that Abyssal Blade. Pilot Eye grabbing some farm, wants his Yule Scepter, does have enough money for that now. And even Y'all getting a little bit of farm going, has picked up a Glimmer Cape for himself. They've actually managed to catch up Pilot Eye. Smoke Gang successful, he gets into the river, he's pretty damn fast, he gets off the crush, but okay. Ajit with one more auto attack finishes the job. changes his mind and is going to be going for a butterfly instead here. Fnatic, the next Roshan is not guaranteed for them, so they are going to have to try and find probably a pick-off before that. But they've got the Nullifier and they've got the Orchid, so if they catch anybody unawares with that, they are 100% dead at that point. I don't think there's no Lotus or anything on Clutch. Aframush is going for one, but I mean, he's only just barely got the plate mail at the moment. Tough situation. And Anti-Mage changing his mind again, and Ajit does end up going for a Scotty. I don't know how much I like this Scotty pickup, to be honest. I mean, he is getting kited a little bit, but I feel like you should just go Abyssal Plate. I don't know, a lot of the Anti-Mages that I've seen recently have just not been going Abyssal. I appreciate that stats are pretty sweet. Is there any specific reason not to go Abyssal this game? I mean, there is a Lincoln Sphere on the Morphling. I suppose the other thing is that if you Abyssal somebody, maybe Envy is gonna defensively E-Blade them or something like that. So that's maybe the consideration here. Want the sustain and being able to take a drawn-out team fight as opposed to having to assassinate somebody right at the very start. Fnatic just controlling the space outside of the Radiant base, protecting the Roshan pit, potential respawn in 2.5 minutes time.
My waters rise.
And not a whole lot else happening, really. Do we have any other item progression on the Clutch Gamer side? I mean, look at these three guys. These poor guys are just all the way down the bottom. There's nothing for them to farm. Skylar's got a blink and a force staff, and he's going to have to be happy with that, I think, for pretty much the rest of the game. It's just the Krob and the Anti-Mage who are farming, and they're just left to kind of scrape up the crumbs wherever they can find them. Yeah, y'all sees that there's a sentry up there, but not going to bother sticking around to get rid of that. Alright, they've got the blink now in the DP. Blink Hex. Maybe a bit more pick-off potential. I guess that's the other thing for the Anti-Mages. Maybe he doesn't have to be the one to get the initiation. They can have the DP Blink Hex or the Sand King Blink Burst Strike. Envy with the Bloodthorn. They're playing this very carefully. I would guess that as soon as Roshan pops up, that's when things will start to get a little bit more interesting. He just managed to grab some farm. He's going to blink into Yules. Universe has completed some Greaves and now going back for a Hex of his own. And Abed, after that Nullifier, next item is going to be an AC for him. Yeah, impact of the Clockwork starting to look a little bit dubious at this stage. Anti-Mage is going for a BKB, very defensive build from Ajit, but it is going to make him pretty difficult to deal with. Once he pops the BKB, if he gets amped, I don't think he's going to be able to go toe-to-toe against the Fnatic heroes, but ideally somebody is killing off Pylai before that point. And you do have your Manta Style as well to help out, though a lot of the time you're going to be popping that on your very first blink in. So we'll see what ends up happening. Fairly fast Roshan, no, not a fast Roshan respawn. That's a long one. 2 minutes on Roshan. So 2 more minutes of farm time for Fnatic. They are ever so slowly pushing out this net worth lead. It's a pretty slow gradient given that they're already 2 lanes of racks up at this point. And Clutch are actually going for a smoke out. This is all 5 heroes. The line is drawn. They know that Roshan could potentially respawn soon, but it's not respawning soon, unfortunately for them. They're heading up some blind hills. They're going to let Aframush lead the way. Skylark not too far behind. They have split up a little bit. Anti-Mage showing over at the top, but he can blink in pretty quickly. Envy starts to morph strength as soon as he sees that smoke break, but he's going to be okay. Still quite tense. Fnatic might be looking for a catch. Pylai thinking about running forward. Both teams do have their gems, so dewarding as they go. Fnatic know that they have to maintain vision around this Roshan pit. Aegis Cheese and Refresher Shard going to be very impactful in these next few minutes. We don't have that many. I guess the Krob is the biggest potential Refresher Shard user, or maybe the Winter Wyvern as well. Not necessarily any big ones for the Fnatic side, but you know, not too bad on the Morph potentially. 2 BKBs in a fight could be pretty sweet. Fnatic, happy to cede a little bit of map control. The big problem for Clutch is that for them to contest Roshan, they have to push out the other 2 lanes and then they have to get over there. Fortunately for them, they have an anti-mage, but still, if it ends up being a standoff at Roshan, then Fnatic are just going to sit on this hill and look at them and then wait for somebody to show somewhere else and then take Roshan in like 2 seconds flat because they have Slardar. Or they're just going to look for a pickoff. Dire scan on this high ground. Highlight Eye leads the way. Will they find somebody? Y'all's poking his head forward. They're going to scout him here now on the low ground. Abed goes for the auto attack. He will be able to force staff himself away. Highlight Eye finding a successful crush on anybody, and now Afternoon jumps in. They've actually got the Hex over onto Eternal Envy. Starts to warp up some strength. He pops the BKB and will now turn and fight. They've got some damage on the other side. Universe, that Mono Void doing damage, but Pie's still surviving. Now they get the vacuum back. The fear onto the Anti-Mage. What can he actually do? He pops his BKB, and he's just going to try and fight this one out. Faded pops the Exorcism. Mass Surge out from the Darkseer is actually going to protect the rest of the team. Abed is isolated by the Anti-Mage, though, and will get right-click down. And they're looking for more. Highlight Eye in a little bit of trouble. He gets the 4-step off. He loses himself, but I don't think he'll be able to get out the blink. And he will end up losing his gem. Nice counter, nice initiation from the Clockwork there, setting up that fight. They were forced to buy back on the Sand King. Looks like he died in the midst of all of that. But Roshan still the prize there to be claimed. Universe doesn't have enough mana. They don't have the Exorcism anymore, so this is going to be relatively slow. I don't actually know how worried Fnatic are about this, and Envy just jumps straight in, kills off Skylark. They're going to be able to reclaim at least one of these gems, and all of the waves are just streaming towards the base. Oh, this stings. They're actually going to be able to jump in, though. Envy, he's being caught. He didn't think that they would still be waiting around here. Envy pays for his mistake, and he will be forced to buy back now. They've lost one of the tier 4s. Oh, man, that was... I guess Envy was just telling himself, like, okay, don't worry. Whatever happens, I'll just... If my Lincoln Sphere gets popped, I'll just hit my BKB, and I'll be fine. But, not the case. Fnatic do still have that little bit of insurance with these 2 Raxed waves. They can kind of always win a stalemate at the pit, but they gotta be careful. They do have a nice window now where the Exorcism is down, but their Shadow Fiend will be back up. It won't be max souls for Abed, but this Roshan is still taking an eternity for AM to bring down. His build is so tanky, but not all that high on the physical damage. And they claim this. Fnatic's coming over. They're going to get scouted by this Rocket Flare. Envy getting surged forward. Highlight die. They're going to drop the Terrorize. Anti-Mage now feared, now crushed. Can they burst him down in time? Looks like they should be able to. He manages to get the BKB off. He didn't get nullified, and now he's able to escape. Highlight Eye continues pursuit. They want this kill on the Death Prophet. Roshan's low. Fnatic splitting up a little bit. They need to be careful. Though Ajit already forced to use his BKB. They lose the Clockwork. It looks like Fnatic will be able to claim everything. Winter Wyvern was trying to get in there to do something, but Y'all just gets nuked down. They will lose Pi on the other side of the fight. Looks like Faded turning around on him with the Hex, but Fnatic got what they wanted. They got the Aegis, they got the Cheese, they got the Shard, and now they're inside of the base. Skylark needing to be careful. Envy's hunting for him, but he doesn't have any detection, and he's a little bit isolated from his team. He's actually got everything in his inventory at the moment. Could potentially hand the Cheese off to somebody else, but I guess he can just swap it in. And Fnatic are just going to reset again. Oh my god, they're playing this game so patiently. I'm a little bit surprised that they don't just go, but I guess they haven't forced any of the buybacks yet, so fight could get messy. Envy, alright, I'll chat the Roshan time, sure. Why not? Where'd the Cheese end up? Cheese is on the Shadow Fiend. Abed's almost got his AC. Alright. Clutch Gamers confirming with Envy, yes, that is the Roshan time. We know when your Aegis is gone. Everybody's on the same page here. Ajit, 6k gold. Some important decisions to be made about his item build from this point forward. I don't even know what he goes for. I mean, you definitely ditch treads at some point. Battle Fury probably still important for him now. Looks like he's just going to go back for the Butterfly. Feels like every Agi carry at the moment is just buying Butterfly. Envy's also sitting on 4.6k, so we'll see what he leans towards. He's down to a 5-second BKB at this point. Abed only with a 6-second. Universe knows that he is actually the living bomb in these fights, so he can't afford to be too close to his other heroes, otherwise he's going to be spilling over a lot of Mana Void damage. But we've seen that Universe has actually been pretty defensive with his positioning, not really committing in too hard, just kind of dropping the vacuum wall and then backing off to watch the fight, casting Surge as needed.
Boom, there it goes.
And Fnatic still not willing to go for anything. They can farm more. Pilotai is going for the BKB. His late game talents are pretty sweet. The Undispellable Corrosive Haze is awesome. DJ is working on a Hex. Universe also working on a Hex. So it would appear that Fnatic are in no rush. This is also the only series I think that they've had to play today. So you can look at that one of two ways, right? You can either say that they're not warmed up, or that they're well rested, and that Clutch Gamers already having played earlier today, they're the ones with the maybe the fatigue pressure on them. But either way, Fnatic are just going to keep on nursing this gold lead. It looks like lots of people not even buying items because they're nursing buyback. It is, of course, the right decision for Anti-Mage, but what's he doing now? Oh, Envy? Alright. Maybe getting a little bit greedy for a bounce here and there. But not really in too much danger with that Aegis in his inventory. Alright, there you go. Ajit does have his Butterfly now. He's subbed out the Treads. He's going to be aiming towards some BOT2s, or thinking about it in case he's forced to buy back and jump back into the fight. That Prophet level 25 did go for the Exorcism Grants Haste as opposed to the additional Spirits. Skylark is outside of the base, needs to be somewhat careful. He's scouting this. Pilotai, Invis ruined up, is running forward. They got the Burrow Strike out onto 2. Flight is getting split though. DJ jumping forward aggressively, but it's on the 2 cores, so the Bedlam's not actually doing all that much damage. And now Pilotai is caught. Ajit, not the best blink forward. He's going to get hit by the Haze, but it's not a big deal. Abed just running interference because they know that they've got Envy over on the other side of the base. Skylark almost brought down. Envy just taking the right-click damage. He's already got the shard in his inventory. He tries to nuke down Skylark, but he doesn't actually have enough in that shot to do it. Nobody has died just yet, though they need to keep on fighting. They've already used the Exorcism. Faded needs to go and heal. Fnatic, they got that tier 3, and looks like they will now just back off and reset. Envy's got no mana left in the tank. What's he planning? I guess he has a decent amount of mana regen. There is a shrine back here. Alright, he's gonna go shrine. Fnatic will reset. Clutch smoking now, but this is without Exorcism for 70 seconds. And this is about to become really obvious with nobody pushing out the creeps inside of the base, but Skylark knows that he just has to try and find something. Trying to exploit the fact that Envy isn't here, perhaps. Ajit needing to be careful. Abed moving forward on the front lines. Has his nullifier at the ready. DJ smoked. Who can they find? They will be able to get the Hex over at the Pi. Can they save him? 1-4 step, but now he gets hooked. Auto attack down, finished off by the illusions. Envy's inside of the base. He pops his BKB. He goes to the melee barracks, and now he goes to the range. Envy playing full rat Dota. He will get burst struck inside of the Sand King form and brought down. He's now dead. Dead for 120 seconds, in fact. Still doesn't have buyback available. Universe now getting chased down. It is Mega Creeps, but Clutch Gamers are going to be able to make a run down mid lane at this point. Well, Fnatic, gotta be careful here. Universe is trying to buy some time. Not in too much danger. Over at the mid lane, Abed is also just running around in circles. And bottom lane, Skylark is being solo killed by DJ. That last hit finishes him off. Okay, looking unlikely for Clutch to be able to end the game right this second, given that there is a glyph on the dire side and there's still a tier 2 to push through, but they gotta try something. They have to make the attempt. Bottom lane's gonna get pushed in by Universe. Abed doesn't have BOTs or anything just yet. What is the TP situation of the Radiant team? No TP on this Anti-Mage, actually. They're just committing. Exorcism pop, tier 3 taking some damage. They're looking for something. They do get the Hex over onto DJ. Fnatic should be a pretty easy decision for them. They're just going to defend. They still don't have Envy back up. Skylark tries with the burst strike, but he's just a little bit short. And as soon as this Exorcism fades, Clutch Gamers are not going to be able to stick around. Death Prophet already blinking backwards. Pilot Eye jumps in, going for the crush. Does not find the ult, but DJ's got the setup. He gets into the Shadow Realm. Does he have the Terrorize off cooldown? He's already used it. That could be trouble, and now Pie's being hexed up. He's going to be brought down. He does not have a buyback. Universe trying to save him with the Force. Can he get a secondary Force and then a blink off? Pie actually gets a random bash onto the anti-mage. That's not going to save his life. The Mana Voice finishes the job, but now the creeps are heading into the base. We've seen this before. Skylark with his get back chat wheel. There are wave upon waves of mega creeps heading into the base, and Ajit doesn't even have a TP scroll. It's up to everybody else to defend this. They need their anti-mage with this battlefield. Ajit, where are you going? Your team needs help. Your base is getting swarmed. All right, looks like they maybe got it. Catapults are hitting the tier 4s. Envy is on a solo mission. Wants those bounty runes. But all right, they lose. They lose the secondary tier 4. Clutch are fighting this out to the absolute bitter end. AM's queuing up the Rapier, Death Prophet queuing up the Refresher Orb. They have taken out the tier 3, so they could go straight end if they get the opportunity, but I don't know if they're ever going to get that opportunity with all of these mega creeps. I really don't know if it should have taken Fnatic 52 minutes to end this game, but they were seemingly unwilling to take a fight head-on. It's kind of understandable. The Clutch Gamers teamfight is pretty strong. You can't underestimate the Winter's Curse at this late stage. If you mess up with your positioning and Envy is too close to Abed or vice versa, could easily swing a fight. So I get why they've been split pushing, but it feels like this game is just kind of dragged. Oh, and of course, I mean, Envy goofed here. That was... Let's not forget about that. That did probably extend the game a little bit. If they had the Aegis and the cheese and everything and he still had buyback, they might have just thrown resources at the problem until the game ended, but they still need to be a little bit careful about Envy. What do they still have, actually? Do they have any of those... have any of those items that they picked up earlier? It looks like they do not. Oh, and Roshan's back up. Once again. Alright. Very difficult to contest, especially with the Bloodthorn and the Corrosive Haze. They take it 100 times faster than Clutch Gamers ever could. Exorcism's already been popped. Faded wanted to fight that, but now they've caught out Aftermush on the other side. Not that important, but he's going to get hexed and almost solo killed by DJ. A little bit of help from the other heroes. That is a fairly tanky Clockwork, but now he's dead for 90 seconds, and this should be the beginning of the end. Fnatic, all they have to do, wait out the Exorcism and then fight with their Mega Creeps. Y'all has to find the absolutely perfect Winter's Curse for anything to happen here. Ajit still has that Rapier queued up. He's also got the buyback in his back pocket. But Fnatic are playing this very methodically, pushing the waves in, harassing a little bit here and there. There is a glyph available for the Radiant. They're going to force that out at some point. Terrorizing them back into the fountain. Anti-Mage, well, gets Yule's dot. That does dodge it a little bit. Shadow Fiend popping his BKB. There's no follow-up damage from the Winter's Curse, and now they are trapped inside of the wall. Ajit doing his best to pop the BKB and fight, but they are already losing the Ancient. Ajit is just getting kited around by the Force Stabs. His BKB about to fade. He knows that he has to go back into fan, but Envy just pops the BKB of his own, hitting onto the throne. Into that, Fnatic taking victory here in game number 1. I mean, it wasn't anything too crazy. It was certainly not a well, this is the other side of a Fnatic game, right? There's the Fnatic game when it's chaotic and late and nobody really knows what's going on.
Dire team ban. Fnatic's turn to ban. Dire team ban. Fnatic's turn to ban. Dire team ban. Seconds remaining. Fnatic's turn to ban. Seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Fnatic's turn to pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Fnatic's turn to pick.
Disruptor.
Seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Fnatic's turn to ban.
Omni-Knight.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Do have opportunities here to still make that a tolerable lane, and they've even still got the position 4 pick to go. So if they wanted, they can get some decent ganking power against this lane. But Fnatic now, their minds will probably immediately be going to what are some good repel heroes, what are some carries that we're worried about that if they get that protection and backup of the Omni-Knight, that we're not really going to be able to deal with them. What else is on that list?
10 seconds remaining.
Could see something like a PA for clutch, pretty bursty, decent against the DP from that perspective, pretty traditional combination with that Omni Knight. We saw Clutch banning Lina in the earlier game, in the previous game, when they personally picked the Death Prophet, so alright, looks like Fnatic prefer the Shadow Fiend as their kind of mid lane Death Prophet answer. The Shadow Fiend did quite well in the lane in terms of CS, but he did die a couple of times. So it does go to show that there is a little bit of nuance of that matchup. It's not just a straight up counter, but it looks like Fnatic would much rather Clutch gamers have the Lina than they have them having the Shadow Fiend, which I think is a fair call. I'm really wondering what Fnatic's position 4 is gonna end up being. I mean, they could pick Rubik, but I think Disruptor Rubik is a little bit of a weird support duo, though it is a really good Rubik game already. You're playing as Sank and you're playing as Dominant, you're happy. There's big play stuff to steal, like the GA, there's consistent steals, like the Purification or the Burst Strike. But maybe we're looking more along the lines of like an Earth Spirit or something like that here. Or could even see the DJ Shadow Shaman, potentially. Alright, I was scratching my head for Universe Heroes, and that is definitely one of them. They grab the Underlord here. They know that the Sand King is probably going to be playing with the Omni Knight a decent amount, so that bottom lane shouldn't... Oh, the top lane, sorry. They are on the Radiant side, but that top lane shouldn't be too difficult. And I like this. It's just more teamfight superiority for them. I know that there are... who was talking to me about this? Was it Tsunami yesterday? Talking about teams really liking Underlord versus Omni Knight? Who was that? Or was it not even somebody talking to me? Was I just watching a stream? There's too much Dota on at the moment, guys. It's all blurring together. Clutch just gonna grab the Witch Doctor. They do have the opportunity to counterpick this Underlord pretty heavily. Could see like a Witch Doctor Monkey King or something coming out, which would be a pretty difficult lane for the Underlord to deal with, but
10 seconds remaining.
Fnatic do of course still have that position 4 pick, and seems unlikely. I mean, they could take Envy's hero here. They know what the dual lane is. I don't know what necessarily lanes all that well up against the SK Omni. They could potentially pick like a Lifestealer, but then they would need to grab the vehicle with the last pick, and a good one would certainly get banned out. Like if you pick Lifestealer, then maybe Sarda gets banned, and I don't even know if they like Lifestealer that much against Omni Knight. I know that Fnatic love Lifestealer against Sand King, especially if it's an offlane Sand King, but no. Alright. They will just go for that Earth Spirit. Gonna see some DJ ES rolling around. Even more team fight. Could get a clutch silence on the Omni. Not to be underestimated is also the long-range potential to cancel the Death Ward this game. They've got lots of really good ways to do that, so Witch Doctor gonna have to be pretty careful with his positioning. And Clutch will just be going for an OD. Oh man. Very nice synergy with the Omni. I actually really like their lineup a lot at the moment. The OD is good against the Underlord, it's good against the Death Prophet. The silences from Fnatic are going to be really annoying for him, though. This might even be the kind of game where you have to get a BKB relatively early. Sure, there's going to be the Omni Knight to help him out a little bit with the repel, but I think his own BKB is still going to be very important this game. And now they really need some building damage. Their building damage absolutely sucks. They have no way to hit buildings, really, at all. Odie's not going to do it. Omni Knight's really not going to do it. So that last hero needs to bring at least a little bit of physical damage to the table. Could still be that Monkey King. I don't know if Fnatic are that afraid of the Monkey King necessarily. Alright, yeah, just gonna be Troll Warlord. That would synergize nicely with the OD. It's always pretty cool to see the bans because you get some insight into what each team is thinking, like, oh, what would be a good pick for the enemy team? Oh yeah, Troll Warlord's pretty good with the OD, gives them some building damage. You know, maybe they don't need the super hard counter against the Underlord because they've got the Witch Doctor in that lane. And they don't need a carry that can kill the Underlord in the late game because they've got the OD for that. So what do Fnatic now pick? Do they go ultra fast? Can they just pick like Pugna? Actually, I'm gonna agree with Tsunami with what he said yesterday. I want to see Envy on an Envy hero. I don't know if I want to see him on Pugna. It is a pretty annoying Pugna game if you're Clutch gamers. But then Fnatic would definitely be all in. There would be, I think, no way to win if the game went too late. And they also wouldn't really have... Well, they've still got some physical damage. They got the Death Prophet Exorcism. That's definitely physical damage. What are Clutch worried about? Like, do they think Fnatic will broodmother them? They could put the Death Prophet safe lane and then they could broodmother them. There you go. They're gonna be the broodmother. They're worried about getting broodmothered. And I think for good reason. I think Fnatic, they might have done it. They might have considered picking that brood. We could still see something like, I mean, they could pick... Oh, I was about to say that they could try and pick Visage and they could put the Death Prophet safe lane, but Gyrocopter may be making that a little bit less likely. It looks like Clutch really thought that through. They were like, look, we're here on the brink of elimination. We really want to go to this tournament. Every single team is trying to prove themselves at the moment. Everybody wants to get to every single DPC event that they can. And Clutch right on the brink of elimination. You gotta make sure you ban the brood. Fnatic, other cheesy heroes are kind of off the table. I don't think Huskar is looking very good here at all. They don't really have a Huskar draft. I think the Pugna is still a consideration, but... Otherwise, what are they just gonna pick? Lifestealer? It's not completely terrible, but it's not like a game-winning, oh my god, we've got this last pick up our sleeve hero either. Like, or they could pick Jug. One of those two. No, it's gonna be a Phantom Lancer. Okay. Alright. Clutch do have some AoE to deal with it, but a fully farmed Phantom Lancer is going to be difficult to deal with this game. And it's pretty nice in the lane. They needed somebody that was... Actually, no, so this is going to be Envy playing the Death Prophet. So it's going to be Phantom Lancer laning up against the OD mid. Fnatic must think that this is a decent matchup. I can see that it's probably decent. OD can't really do much about PL getting up in his face, spamming the lance. And there's going to be potential roll-ins as well from DJ. That's the other thing to keep in mind. OD is pretty immobile. They do have somewhat good turnaround potential on Clutch. They got 4 different heroes that could TP into a lane and make a counter gank happen past a certain point. So that is going to have to be a concern for Fnatic. But yeah, I can definitely see Phantom Lancer doing okay. And then Death Prophet versus SK Omni. She'll probably farm. She'll get some experience. I don't think it's going to be amazing, but at least it's a range hero. Oh yeah, see the check it out. Affirmation. They bought a new mouse. We haven't had any mouse-related pauses just yet, so hopefully he's got a new one. I don't know if they were able to find an exact replacement for him. I know that when my last mouse was on its last legs, it's not in production anymore. I was like, oh man, I really want the same mouse. Am I going to spend a few $100s on eBay for a new in-box G9X? No, I'm probably not. I'm just gonna have to get something new. So he might be still in the process of adjusting. You know, maybe the 1 or 2 missed hook shots last game. I don't even think there were too many misses last game. Maybe that's the new mouse adjustment. But let's get into it. Fnatic versus Clutch. Lots on the line. Smoke out from Clutch at the beginning of the game. Y'all gonna be planting this OBS over on the high ground, hoping to spot DJ as he's rotating around, and they do see him now. Baited is actually down here for a second. So okay, they're putting... Alright, they're putting the OD safe lane, and they're going to be putting the Gyrocopter mid. Interesting. We'll see how that works out. Might be a slightly better matchup for the Gyro against the PL. Fnatic trying to pressure this rune, but Clutch making the exact same rotation on the other side. And Fnatic actually kind of lining up an aggro tri-lane here. They're going to be leaving Underlord solo down bottom. Clutch are going to rotate to get the laning matchups that they were hoping for, it looks like. Yeah, except that's going to involve OD walking down there, it looks like. He shouldn't miss too much. one creep at the absolute most. Who's got the better block on mid? It looks like it is actually Faded. Nice for him. What's he gonna skill first? Let's actually go for the flat cannon. Okay. And y'all trying to steal the way. He's gonna get rolled on here by DJ. There's gonna be some damage. That Orb of Venom slowing him down, but he's just gonna keep on trucking. Aframush waiting up the hill to be able to help him out. And now they turn around on DJ and try and put some damage down onto him. He does have a roll up in a couple of seconds. Ajit's coming over. Hasn't skilled anything just yet. DJ finds the angle. Will be able to roll away, but he's still being pursued, and they do have this ward up on the high ground to spot him. He just immediately salves up, and he's going to be okay. Oh. Yep, there you go. There's the Thunderstrike. Highlight Eye doing his thing. Underlord getting a couple of CS over by the tower, so Universe not getting completely crushed so far. How is mid lane going? Phantom Lance are doing really well. 4 denies already. Fnatic getting the CS edge across the board. Not so important that the Gyrocopter does amazingly on mid. I think he's mostly there just to help Clutch fight through there. Like mid game, we gotta roll in at bottom. Ajit taking some damage, but he's actually giving about as good as he's getting. Punching back at Universe. So both teams are going to end up disengaging now. It's just 2-on-2 on both sides of the map. Gyro, is he even going to bother skilling the missile? Like, there's no way it ever hits Abed. Unless he's being super greedy with the build and now goes for 2 points Phantom Rush here. We'll see what he does. Yeah, I don't know. That's only going to be a narrow window. He'll get the doppelganger before too long. Y'all is leading some creeps around. Why not? But I don't know. I'm a little bit concerned for this early game for Clutch. We'll see what Aframush can do on his Sand King. Gotta keep an eye on him. He's just gonna come up here and get the D-ward off on his pole camp. So looks like he's keen to grab a little bit of experience. But this Omni Knight Sand King dual lane not really in full effect just yet. Give him a couple more levels and they've got some more kill threat potentially, but so far not doing all that much. They did get a Burrow Strike out onto Envy, but he just turns around with the Spirit Siphon and starts to lay down some damage. They're splitting it somewhat, just harassing down both Skylark and Aframush. I don't think they don't think they can get either of these 2 kills. And with good reason. I've been taking some damage here at mid. Copping the flak, taking some Rocket Barrage it looks like. But still has this CS edge above the Gyrocopter and also able to rush in there now and then and get some damage down. Skylark's still getting plinked at by Envy. Not giving him much breathing room. Aframush gonna come in. Get Burrow Strike out. They got that 1 point in the Purification. Envy should be okay though. You just start to see some of the power of this this dual lane from Clutch. But yeah, they're also not really shutting down the Underlord though. These Clutch lanes are supposed to be fairly strong in their matchups, but it's not really happening just yet. It's only 3 minutes 30, maybe a little bit too early to say, but I feel like they have to come out of the laning stage in decent stead, because they actually need to get quite a bit of farm on this OD for him to just be able to play his game. He needs to be at the point where he can blink in and kill somebody while his repel is on, because as soon as the repel runs out, there are a bunch of disables that are going to make his life hell. So pop the doppelganger, just to be a little bit careful. Faded chasing him down with the Rocket Barrage. Position 4 is still kind of keen to just stay in their lanes and grab some experience. I don't know if this is an adjustment to what's been happening recently, or just the fact that they don't feel like they can really make a play mid. Like they're both probably thinking, hey, if I go make a play mid and we dive the tower, then my counterpart is just going to TP in and they're going to get the turnaround. So it doesn't really make sense for either of us to do anything here. DJ might like draw them over to mid so they can make some more space up top and try and do something there. He is being scouted this entire time. They're going to go for the roll-in now, but here comes the counter gank. Fade is taking a lot of damage, though. He does have the turnaround. He's also got the Fairy Fire. Here comes the Paralyzing Cast. DJ taking damage off the Maledict. Should still end up being a 1-for-1, but it is a first blood for Faded. So I think worth it, potentially, for Clutch. Y'all are going to take a little bit more damage here. I bet sticking around on low HP. Alright, looks like he's prepping to go Shrine in a second. Needs to be a little bit careful. Oh, they get Aframush up top. Alright, so DJ dies, immediately respawns, heads straight top, finds the kill on Aframush. So I think they got the better of that overall. Yeah, we've got a very long duration fight recap, but it does go to show that Fnatic getting a little bit more across the board. And now sitting at a 2k gold lead already. Well, that ward is going to get given away a little bit there by the flak cannon. So DJ now knows that there's something around here on the mid lane. Is he going to be able to place it in the right spot though? No, it's actually over on the other side of the hill. Envy a fair ways up without too much health. Aframush coming from behind, but Envy a little bit too speedy, and they're actually able to turn it around now with Pi coming in. He's only got the 1 point up in the glimpse, and they can't really go on him with Skylark in the vicinity, so just more harassment being traded. Odie getting up there in terms of the CS, but just somewhat behind. Aframush going in here. He's already used the burst strike. Now he's caught inside of the kinetic field. They were hoping for some kind of a kill, but it just gets turned around on them. And now Skylark's also in some trouble. He's getting glimpsed back and right-click down. Envy's got one more Crypt Swarm, but looks like those wand charges are going to be enough to keep him alive. If he sticks around, though, there is a double damage Earth Spirit on the rotation. So it looks like DJ trying to decide, do I go mid? Do I go top? Is the Omni Knight actually going to stick around? Looks like he's going to come from behind on the mid lane. Faded taking some harassment again. He's now 2 levels behind the Phantom Lancer. I mean, he's level and a third, let's say, behind the Phantom Lancer, but this is getting kind of scary. TB comes in from the Witch Doctor. Oh, can they actually get DJ here? Take some damage. Kicks him away right as he's going for the roll. That was really nice. Oh, dodge the cast. Now we can leave the illusions behind. A little bit of extra farm for Faded. But yep, still Fnatic sitting on this 2k net worth lead. And still not a whole lot happening with the Sand King. Vermouche just kind of chilling. Walks past the courier, not a whole lot that he can really do to it though. Highlight. Oh, DC. Pi is so dead. Runs around the corner. Pops down to Sentry Ward, straight into a Rocket Barrage, and he is... He's gone. He's gonna be back soon though, just a couple of seconds. DJ trying to snipe some experience away from the mid lane. Bottom lane is being completely abandoned by Universe as he just farmed his way back through the jungle. And will now be heading back to the fountain for a second. I mean, I'd be getting harassed, but that's all it is, just a little bit of harassment. And Abed continuing to do very well on the CS here over at mid. Probably just anticipating pretty standard build out of him, get some treads, get his diffusal, run around a little bit. Doesn't really need the Manta this game necessarily. So we might just see the SNY build. But kind of a slow early game. I guess it's the consequence of these dual lanes being run. Skylark's being threatened. Gonna glimpse him back. He doesn't actually have a point in the repel just yet, and DJ rolls straight on in. They got plenty of damage. Aframush trying to help out with the burst strike, but he can't even get in range. Nicely executed gank from Fnatic, and at the same time, getting a solo kill at mid. There was nobody else involved in that. He just straight up killed the gyrocopter. Clutch are crumbling a little bit. And Universe easily able to hold on to the bottom lane at the same time. So Ajit's not even bothering. Look at this. He doesn't even have his Ring of Aquila turned on. He knows that there is no chance of them pushing into this Underlord. Better to just keep the lane position back so he can't approach easily and get the Firestorm off. And now Abed turns his Aquila on. He's easily able to get some damage onto this tier 1. It's dropping fast, and Clutch aren't even really responding at all. Looks like they want to try and go for a smoke. This is what they tried to do in the previous game. They're like, oh, lanes aren't going so great. Let's just go smoke up. DJ breaks it though, and immediately rolls out of there. They had this Observer Ward scouting the entire thing, and Abed sees another opportunity undefeated. He's got Envy coming around the corner with the Exorcism. He drops the call down, but it's just not enough damage, and the supports can't even get involved. They're gonna get the glimpse back on the Sand King now. Straight into the silence from DJ. Double kill for Envy. Y'all is the sole survivor, but... Alright, Fnatic really getting the ball rolling. Oh, this is so bad. The gyrocopter is supposed to be the person that's kind of putting the early to mid game on his back for Clutch, but it's not happening. And I don't know. Omni Knight's not going to do anything until his other cores are strong either. It doesn't matter that Omni Knight has okay farm if the other cores are just completely irrelevant in the game. So this is looking worse and worse as the minutes tick on. Paladin almost has his level 6. Abed's hasted. He's just looking for more. He's threatening. And Skylark still vulnerable to that glimpse with no point. They repel. DJ's picked up his tome, so he's gonna have his level 6 quick smart. And Universe just standard build so far, going for the Dominator. They're all trying for a little bit of a wraparound play, but they need at least a +1 to make anything happen up here. Ideally it would be the Gyrocopter, but he just used call down for some farm over at mid, so he's not really in any position to do anything. All right, they do now have the point of repel up on Skylark, avoids the glimpse back.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, Clutch still just kind of sitting on their hands. They can't push mid, they can't push bot, they can't kill anybody seemingly. They're about to lose another tier 1 with no contest.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh, our Universe does actually die down bottom, which
Is under attack.
he just get solo killed. Just get right clicked to death. No, like it wasn't a solo kill. Aftermush was involved. There was a burrow strike. So maybe they can now put a little bit of pressure down bottom, though Fnatic should have mass TPs if they actually want to take this fight. Exorcism's up in 10 seconds. It would just take so long for everybody to filter in down here. Though they could still go for it. Or they might just go for this tier 2 up top. Have to see. Still got the catapult in this wave. And yeah, Underlord instead just going to be TPing top. Skylark does manage to get the repel out, but it's not going to last very long, and there's all of these Fnatic heroes here waiting for him. Nicely timed by DJ, gets the boulder smash immediately as the repel fades. And instead of defending bottom by actually just going down there directly, they're just going to keep the pressure up here at top. Envy is only level 7. He's actually TPing bottom. They want to try and go for Ajit, and I think they might actually be able to get him. Not that quick. Roll forward from DJ. At the boulder smash he does, straight back into the silence. The exorcism still going to work even though he's banished. And Fnatic will still successfully defend this tier 1 tower at the end of the day. Clutch are just getting so outmaneuvered. I feel like maybe even the most valuable thing that Fnatic have done in this series has just been banning Aframush's Tusk. Not that his Sand King and his other heroes are bad, but the level of impact that he has on the Tusk is far higher than what we've seen from his other position 4 heroes so far. Abed's just everywhere. Y'all getting glimpsed back. He is already dead. Doesn't even have any doesn't even have any he's barely even losing any gold from these deaths. That was at minus 83. He's so poor. He's not too far behind Pi, but I don't know where the glimmer of hope is for Clutch. I really feel like they need to get this Gyrocopter involved, but like OD, he can farm, fine. That's his job. He's supposed to be there to 1v5 the late game, but right now they're just not making any plays. OD is going to be able to imprison himself, but I think he still turns up here afterwards. Aftermood is going to have to come in and try and defend him. Ajit taking some more damage, getting caught inside of the pit. Can he actually right-click his way through this? He doesn't even have his ultimate skilled up just yet. Looks like Universe might be brought down, but Fnatic have more up here now to help out. Aftermood just sitting inside the Firestorm. He'll be brought down, as will the OD. They lose Universe once more, but still favorable trade for Fnatic. Not that big of a swing gold-wise, since they are a little bit ahead.
What have we here?
But I don't know. I don't have a lot of vision to work with right now. How is the Sand King Blink going? 900 gold.
Regeneration.
Yeah, not great. Dark Rift down bottom. Fnatic can try and hold on to this bottom tier 1 tower just a little bit longer. They brought some numbers down here. If Pi gets eyes on somebody, they do have a glimpse ready. Y'all just trying to hide around the tree line, but he gets scouted by DJ. Nice little 1-rock combo. Good efficiency. And they're going to finish him off. And with that, Pilot Eye is going to open up the net worth gap ahead of the Witch Doctor just a little bit. They have managed to catch somebody out here at mid. Looks like it is Abed's Phantom Lancer, and he's getting right-clicked down. Needs to be a little bit careful. Gets the doppel off. Can he fake them out? He's running back over towards his team, but he will get dropped by the Sandy's Eclipse. So Envy's popped his Exorcism, and he's running forward looking for more. The Glimpse is off cooldown, so they just have to maintain vision. Pie's a little bit further behind. Looks like Aftermush might actually be okay. Envy's still chasing, and Fnatic will just do the full lap underneath this bottom tier, underneath this mid tier 2. But unfortunately didn't have, I don't think he had his Sanj just yet there, so still relatively squishy. And a really nicely timed bar strike immediately after the imprisonment. He couldn't even get the doppelganger off. But Fnatic still pressing forward, getting more done. Aftermush wants something here, but he's going to immediately get rooted. They will focus on Universe instead. OD now stuck inside the Static Storm Kinetic Field with the Magnetize on him. He's ticking down pretty quickly. That Urn also doing decent damage, but now he's repelled, and it's going to be able to keep on fighting. DJ looks like he should be brought down. Universe and Envy trying to find an angle into this fight as Piladai is just hid in the trees. He doesn't even have a TP scroll, but now Abed is respawned and he's ready to rock and roll. They're going on to Faded to get the silence onto the Omni Knight, so he can't actually get the heal out. He gets the purification at the absolute last moment. Abed's still chasing forward. Ajit is getting locked down. They don't have any help for him now. They do get the Guardian Angel out, but Ajit's still being chased. Abed is relentless. He finishes that kill with the lance. Now they look towards Faded. Skylark doing everything that he can to help. He gets up blast repel, but that won't even save him, and he's now being glimpsed back. He'll probably be the next to fall. Yo, that's the triple kill for Abed. Can he get the ultra? He's still inside of the base. Nice doppelganger dodge there. Skylark does get off one more heal, but Abed's still chasing. Doesn't even need the maim to proc. Envy will steal that one, so no ultra for Abed, but Fnatic diving deep and really making a statement here in this game. Alright, and straight to Roche. Why not? Get the tower, straight to the pit with the Firestorm. Fnatic are making this one look very easy. They want to punch that ticket. They want to play up against TNC tomorrow in the grand finals. They want that qualifier spot for SEA. And Clutch not really putting up that much of a fight. Aftermush still trying to cobble together the gold for this Blink Dagger.
Radiant's bottom.
And now we have an Aegis Phantom Lancer running around.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
I'll take your tribute.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That's Gyrocopter guy. He's just trying to rush BKB. The poor guy. Ajit's still going to be relying on the repel. It's just going to be going for a blink, but I don't know. Underlord's now got a pipe. Going to take a little bit of the sting out of the epicenter and the Sandys. Could even go for a halberd after that if they really just want to make OD's life hard. Skylark, he's had Radiance queued up at a couple of different points this game. It's an amazing item against the Phantom Lancer, but I think that is just a little bit too much of a distant dream for him to be going for. Y'all's resigned himself to his fate. Look at this poor guy. Popping that another couple of wards. Skylark getting caught out here by Abed. Chase down. Pops the Shrine for good measure, but I don't think it's going to save him. He's just slowed. The PL is so difficult to escape with the Phantom Rush. Now they've caught Faded over at mid lane, inside of the Static Storm. No save for him. Fnatic just running down everybody. And they're even going to run past the tier 2 looking for more. Aftermush does have his blink, so they spot him around the tree line. They haven't seen him just yet. He's in the patch of fog, but now Abed sees him at the last moment. Pi is going to get gone on here. Deathward doing decent damage, but he's still relatively tanky, and Y'all just stands there and takes it. Oh, Pi's not dead. Nice pipe pop by Universe, going to help keep him alive. Abed is still chasing inside of the base. Illusion's pushing everybody back. But Fnatic straight up onto the high ground. The Exorcism's about to fade. They do have the Dark Rift to get out if they feel like they're actually in any danger, but they're just sending Illusions on Aftermush, so he can't ever get this Blink Epicenter off. And the silence, man, they are making this so hard for the Sand King. Universe, is it time for everybody to bail out? Wait, where was that glimpse going to? Oh my god, they glimpsed the Gyrocopter outside of the base! Fade is caught. The rest of the team has to come in here and try and save him, but I don't know if they can do it. Nice imprisonment. That buys some time. Envy is going to be able to yield through most of his epicenter. Universe is okay. He is going to try and escape with the Dark, but it's not in time. That glimpse actually turned out to be a little bit of a bait as Clutch Gamers come in to save their friend. They've also now caught Abed. He does have the Aegis. Doppelganger off cooldown in 1 second's time. Heads up to the high ground. Doesn't have the TP scroll in his inventory though. Has to try and juke this one out or just fight it out to the bitter end. They're going to tap the shrine hopefully. No, Skylark just got the repel. He's got the heal. Abed trying to juke. He gets down onto the low ground now. The Phantom Rush and the Doppelganger. I think he's actually out of there. No one left on the low ground to chase him. DJ sitting right on top of a ward. Looks like they're going to take that as the consolation prize instead. Oh, no, DJ gets the rollout. Now he's going to get the blink out. Unfortunately, the homing missile is chasing him, so I think he is going to end up going down, but buys another couple of seconds. And in the meantime, that dominated catapult left inside of the base does actually finish off the range tracks. And now it's being glyphed. Oh, man. So Clutch, they lose the tier 3, they lose the range tracks, they're going to lose their shrines before too long. Abed, but did... No, it does still have that Aegis. I don't know why I thought he'd lost it, but... A little bit messy from Fnatic, puts a little bit of a dent in the net worth and experience. I think they were planning to be... The thought was probably, hey, we can, you know, anytime that they go on us, we can just pop the Dark Rift and then we can get out of there. And then they glimpsed the gyrocopter back outside of the base. Figured that they could maybe burst him before he could do anything. Nice play from the OD to get in there with the imprisonment and make sure that he managed to get some damage down. Aframoosh on the run, gonna get glimpsed back unless he can burst strike dodge it, and he can. Aframoosh has got the timing nicely done. That's a wasted static storm. Abed's committing to this fight, but he needs to be careful with the doppel down. He could get caught by the homing missile, though it looks like he did manage to, what, he kill it with the illusions? Thought for a second there, but... Alright. Clutch, jump out, go on high. Couple of auto attacks, bring him down, build up those stacks. Abed considers committing back in. Aframoosh being left behind by his team. They're going to run over and help him out now, but he's also got a completely empty mana pool, while Envy is just right-clicking top. Does feel a little bit like Fnatic are playing with their food, but Clutch giving it everything that they've got. Universe going for a Crimson Guard. A little bit surprised not to see something like the Halberd or the Solar Crest, but still nice against the gyrocopter damage. I guess he's going to be kind of irrelevant this game. They are going to jump over to top. They're looking for something. They're going to try and go on Skylark. They got the immediate silence. Universe needs to light up the pit. They're going to yield up. DJ ready with the silence. Can they burst him down? He gets the repel up. Envy has committed the exorcism for this. He needs to be careful about getting bursted. They're going to drop the Sandy's equips for good measure. He doesn't have the BKB just yet. Fnatic not waiting for their timings this time around, though they are still going to go back in with Abed. No Aegis. Sending the illusions back. Clutch playing as a unit. Will be able to escort their gyrocopter and the Omni Knight back to the safety of the well. A little bit of a miscommunication there, I guess. Envy used his Yules aggressively as DJ was rolling in so that they couldn't follow up on the silence immediately. Yeah, it was no good. So Abed just, what, sitting on a... Is it just a casual talisman? Yeah, it is just a casual talisman. Oh, I guess he can disassemble his SMI, can't he? That can be where the halberd comes from. He can just sit on Yasha halberd. Potentially. Or it's just casual 20% evasion, pretty value against the OD.
Thank you, my beauties.
Clutch have moved pretty far outside of their base. They are really looking for something. They're going to spot Envy. He still doesn't have the BKB just yet. Looks like he all might be left for dead. Did he get a ward down at least? Looks like no. Dire Scan is going to reveal that they're pressing forward aggressively. Skylark just wanted to finish that little bit more farm so that he could get towards his Radiance. Tried for the glimpse back. Looks like Aframoosh did get dragged through. He's going to try for the TP out. Can they cancel it? They aren't able to in time. Fnatic. I mean, okay, you just wait for this BKB. I don't mind this high ground push. probably take the shrine first, but definitely wait for that BKB. Could also wait for Roshan again. Universe seems to be kind of planning around that. Does have the Ogre Frost Mage scouting things out. Potential respawn in 30 seconds time. As Fnatic continuing to just revel in the fact that they have all of this map control. They got great ward control, preventing Clutch from leaving the base, and they're just continuing to push this net worth lead up and up and up. Beta does have his BKB, 10-second charge, ready to go. Hurricane Pike on the OD, so he's looking pretty strong. Fnatic are actually going to try and smoke into the base. They want to take this fight. There is a glyph available. Abe going to look to force that out. They're going to pop the glimpse on Faded, and that forces the BKB, and that for Fnatic should just mean an easy disengage. They can't afford to use this BKB without an initiation. But that is a huge tool lost for Clutch. They're going to be able to jump in here onto Envy. We just got the BKB. He pops it down. The Exorcism will be coming out. Ajit, he's repelled for a tiny bit longer, but as soon as that fades, he's going to be in big trouble. They drive back Skylark. They're looking for the kill first onto the Sand King. The call down coming through. Exorcism getting split up a little bit, but y'all will still end up falling. Ajit, what can he do? He gets the pushback onto Pi, almost killing him off. They want to focus on Envy. Abed is just chilling, hitting the racks, not diving too deep on this fight. OD does have a decent number of stacks. He's got a lot of int. They need to be careful of the hammer getting dropped here. He turns around. There's Sandy's Eclipse coming in, but Universe with the pipe still helping to mitigate a lot of it. They lose the gyrocopter. No BKB means no chance, and Skylark can't afford to be throwing repels on anybody else other than the OD. Abed also just juking around in the trees there. And looks like everybody's going to be taking a quick trip back to the fountain. They get the laner X, they get those kills, and then they get out of there. And, you know, a little bit of all check going on, because why not?
An amazing thing, an amazing thing.
That bodes so poorly for Clutch. There's a prolonged fight, and OD gets 40 stacks, and he presses Sanity's Eclipse, and nothing dies. Very scary. I guess the stacks were kind of split up. There's like 8 on the Death Prophet and 8 on the Earth Spirit, but still, they're outside of the base here. Not a bad time to fight. They know that there's stuff on cooldown. The Exorcism's still down. Abed needs to kite away. Yeah, still 1 minute no Exorcism. This would actually be a decent position for Clutch to make something happen, but we need to be careful. Skylark's Repel is about to wear out, and there is a glimpse at the ready. Aftermush waiting up on the high ground. He's going to jump over, but the Epicenter gets it out. Onto 2. Envy's BKB just cooling down in time, but still no Exorcism for the damage. Odie getting trapped, though. He manages to force staff himself a little bit further away, but Abed closes the gap with the Phantom Rush, kills him off. DJ waiting in the Yule Scepter as his team will now be joining. They end up losing both of the supports. They've got the high ground, but Fnatic also managing to breach up there. Abed just waiting for his cooldown, waiting for his opportunity. Y'all kiting around a little bit. They're keeping him alive with the Purification. They're actually chain stunning Envy, doing decent damage. Abed now spots his opportunity, though, and he rushes in. Universe is making it so hard for them to do any damage. They've just got so much sustain on this Fnatic side. One more burst strike. Can they kill up Envy? The Purification will seal the deal. Abed wants the Skylark kill. Oh, they just barely kill him in time. Enough illusions spawning up. I thought with no mana he would maybe be okay, but right-click damage can kill a little bit too much. The same will not be the case for Aframush. She does just TP out A-okay. But even without Exorcism, Fnatic still win that fight somewhat handedly. I mean, they're 3 for 4. Still pretty good for Clutch. Really need to get a big fight somehow. If you're OD, I don't know if you just try and buy a Mystic Staff. Like, you gotta get something. Shiva's is definitely the item, but I don't know if you can afford to be sitting around for buyback at the moment. They just need every single item that they can to try and win a fight. Yep, there's that Roshan just about to drop. Abed resetting backwards. Pilot Eye ready with the Static Storm Kinetic Field in case anything weird happens. Gets the glimpse back. Nice blink out from Aframush. Ajit actually just wants to fight. He's going to try and go for Pilot Eye, but he gets silenced up. They don't have Skylark there just yet. He will come in now with the Repel, but Ajit's still taking tons of right-click damage. Abed, his real hero, got stunned up, so it makes this pursuit a little bit difficult, but he does Doppelganger forward. Now the Repel's worn out. He will be able to get this blink off, but Skylark maybe not so lucky here on the escape, and actually great timing from DJ with the boulder smash. keeps him locked in there. He won't be able to get the blink away. Now Skylark is stuck, silenced up on the back lines. OD will be forced to buy back, but Abed is just chasing even further in. Envy with the BKB and the Exorcism stands his ground. They force the BKB pop. They're going to get the Omnidite glimpsed back outside of the base. Afromush trying to save him. Pylidite will get right-clicked down. But the same is true for Skylark. A couple more touches from Abed are going to do it. Envy's stuck in the midst of everything here. Can he survive? He won't be able to. But that is the hammer dropped. And Ajit, this might be a dieback for him. Afromush looking for more, but they've still got the Aegis on the Phantom Lancer. They just don't have enough to deal with this Phantom Lancer twice. Y'all with one last auto attack finishes him. They do now buy back on the Gyrocopter, but I feel like Abed can just keep on fighting if he wants to. Other heroes may be a little bit low on mana. Earthspirit has still quite a lot of rocks. Alright, Fnatic just going to focus on the objective. Hit the tier 3 a little bit. Afromush, no epicenter for a bit. Universe doesn't have the Dark Rift to bail them out of here, but I don't think they have any plans of leaving just yet. At least not until the Omnidite respawns. Yeah, I'm definitely going to laugh off all of that damage. Doing their best though. Abed now undefeated. Gets hit by the Boulder Smash. DJ snipes that from downtown. And the Sand King looks like he's also going to end up dropping. Perhaps Afromushi doesn't have the mana to be able to get into the fountain with the Burrow Strike beyond Godlike Streak for Abed, as they will end up calling G. And Fnatic will end up taking this series 2-0, moving forward in GESC Thailand SE8 qualifiers, and they will be facing off against TNC for that qualifier spot tomorrow.
Oh, if said finals are today. I think so. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just gonna go find out for you guys. Right now, Fnatic, everything. This is honestly just a very, very clean performance. Once again, never really seemed out of contention. All the heroes were from the get-go, from the laning phase, in fact, in the upper echelons of the network. And yeah, that's gonna be it, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a winner. Fnatic beating out Clutch Cheaters to head on to the Grand Finals to play up against TNC. When I don't know, we'll figure that out. But for now, hey, don't go anywhere. Just hang out. I feel like I might as well do some more Southeast Asian Dota. So I'm gonna do Execration and Boom ID in the MDL. You know, they already started actually. So this is the tail end of game 1, it seems. Let us see. What do we have here? We've got on the side of Boom ID, FPZ is playing Lina. Here top lane, Saint Dream De Lucas is going to be playing the Tidehunter for his team. Towards bottom, Fervian is playing the hard carry Phantom Lancer. We're going to see how it turns out for him. We already have GESC playing the Leshrac. And then last but not least, BH being played by Yokam. Yokam is amazing at this hero. Like, I'm always happiest if I see Boom ID and they have Next Assassin or Bounty Hunter. They're very similar to TNC in that regard. One of these two heroes for Jokam to play, I'm always very happy. And we can see they're in the lead massively. Execration trying to come back into this one. Carl playing the Dragon Knight in the mid lane. Towards top, we do have Batrider being played by Van. Here is one of the supports. It's going to be Grimjex. He is the Disruptor. Between, I think, this and Witch Doctor, he plays. Can be no Ravage for this fight. Fervian though jumping in, wants to bring down Grim CX. He's getting the Spirit Lance onto him. He get the kill. Now Van running away back to base. Fervian not very high on HP. They get the stun directly onto the GESC Leshrac. Leshrac does get brought down. FBZ though is just going ham on the backside of the fight. They brought down the DK. Lightstrike Array catches onto the Terrorblade. Terrorblade does not want to die for this. Fervian loses his life thanks to the damage being put forth by Van and the boys. And now Nando wants to keep taking this fight though. He's still inside the Metamorphosis. They really want to bring down Fervian, but now Nando falling very low. Can he get off the Sunder? No, he doesn't have the mana. Can his team keep him alive? Yes, they can. The Ice Shards from Lemieux putting them back into the base, and now the Kinetic Field as well. They're going to roll back directly onto Yokam right outside the base. Spirit Vessel will enable them to get the kill onto the Bounty Hunter. Back towards the tier 3 tower. St. Dream Lucas has respawned. That's how long this fight has been. Wait, did he respawn or buy back? And he bought back. He wanted to come back into this. As possible. They know they need the Ravage. St. Dream Lucas at the forefront of this. They do not want to. Glyph has already been used, I think. Oh, no, it hasn't. They can still Glyph. But they're going to let the Rax go. They're going to allow this. Oh, no, they did use it, yeah. So top laner Rax is going to go down. St. Dream Lucas getting gone on. Ravage does come out, catches 2 heroes. They burst down the Batrider almost immediately. Limerick turns around. Snowball wants to get back into the fray, or at least want to get something out of this. They just brought back now onto the Batrider. They at least want to find the Tide Hunter, even though he's already used Ravage. The break onto him. They're going to get this kill. Is that who has Silver Edge? Oh, Silver Edge is on call. The DK has Silver Edge. Van moving forward. They were looking for the lasso that glimpses back onto FBZ. He just Bloodstone denies instantly. Absolutely no qualms about that one. Gets himself out of dodge. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's a pretty decent fight right there. Hold on, I just want to change one thing quickly. This is not Fnatic and Clutch Gamers. This is Boom ID versus Execration. Alright, there we go. I just have to change the stream title, sorry, so that people who connect through GESC Gamers would be able to see what's going on. And yeah. So decent fight from Boom ID. They take a laner X at top. Multiple buybacks of force. They will lose Yokan though. This is his second death of the game. That's kind of concerning. So Carl out at mid, still farming things up with this Maelstrom. Oh, today's Thursday, right? Yeah, it is. It is indeed a Thursday. Boom ID wanna wrap this up fairly soon. They have a massive gold lead in their favor. No reason to throw a game away. You've taken a laner X. Very calmly go and take another laner X. And then you'll be good. Oh, you've got Megas. Wait, did they take everything? Oh, I came to this game late. Oh, they've got everything. Oh, yeah, then this game's over then, actually. I don't think Execration have the to resist Megas. I mean, I could be wrong, but they're already getting their shrines taken away right now. And yeah, this is not going to be fun. To have everything you know and love wrested from your control. Now St. Dream Lucas might want to get onto the high ground. Ice shots did fly through from Limyuk. Now here we go, lasso directly onto the Titans. They want to try to burst them down. Snowball will be there, Static Storm as well. They have the damage up and they're trying to burst them down on the backside of the fight, but they've already got the kill onto the Disruptor. Now Batrider dies as well. Fervian is just too strong. Nando with his BKB active will not actually be able to take this fight. The Ravage will be there. He's used up in fact by GESC. The Split Earth will still catch him and they break the kill. Carl as well inside the base trying to run away. It will not matter for him, and Carl will go down right now. And that, I don't think there's any way he survives this, right? That's it. GG, well played. So, for those of you who don't know what this match is for, what the stakes are, this is to determine who is going to be starting in the first round of the playoffs here in the MDL qualifiers. If you're in the first round, you're much closer to just losing and being out than if you're later on in the bracket. So it matters a lot to be as late as possible. So loser of this ends up starting in playoffs round 1 and will be playing against Echo International. But we'll see how that actually ends up working out. So that was just the game. I just have to change some correlation. So with that game, I don't think it's like against Execration. Didn't Abed want you to play for Execration before he went to America and just moved around on the planet? I think for some reason it feels like that's where he came from initially. But anyway, doesn't really matter. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the MDL qualifiers for the Chinese region. We did just see Boom ID taking the first game. We'll see in game 2 what ends up taking place and whether or not Execration can bring this one back to a game 3 and force more to happen here. Anyway, my name is Snare. You can see at the top left corner my Twitter handle. Please follow me on Twitter. Please also follow this particular Twitch channel. Subscribe if you have some money. Buy some bits if you have some money. Please don't use it. Don't do that if you can't afford it, you know. But if you can support me, it would be really nice. But ladies and gentlemen, anyway, we'll be back in game number 2 between BoomID and Execration here in the MDL Southeast Asian Qualifiers. Don't go anywhere.
Malah ngoceh. Yang punya first picknya sebenarnya di kelas gamer. Last picknya nanti bakal di counter sama Fnatic. So siapa yang bakal jadi andalannya? Masih ada Phantom Lancer sebenarnya di sini yang bisa diambil sama Clutch Gamer. Masih ada Slark Ajit itu mengerikan. Terus Giro hitar. Di situ dari Afromos nggak punya buyback. Lagi nanti di game kedua guys, jangan lupa game kedua masih bakal masuk. Kira-kira bakal break sekitar 5 menit doang ya. Kayak apa nggak perlu break aja deh, atau nggak perlu break aja dah. Enggak. Kayak nggak perlu break. Gue mau masuk ke lobbynya dulu. Nih, gue bakal